On today's show, Linda dreams that her daughter is dying from a fentanyl overdose, given by an old sweet lady who is actually trying to help her. What does it all mean? Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hi, welcome everybody.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and you on your earth journey. That's why we focus on dreams. If you want to know what you're meant to be doing in your life at this very moment in time, then look at your dreams. They're going to tell you all. Through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you what superpowers you have, what gifts you have, what would or does make you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. But these bumps are not in the way, they are the way. To get your dream analyzed on our show, simply email radioshow@dream-analysis.com. Sandy, what have we got?
Well, I'm ready to dive into some dreams. We've got all kinds of good stuff going on. They can check our website to see what courses and workshops we've got going on. But right now, I want to dive into dreams. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All righty. My first dream is My Daughter is Dying. Oh, that's a scary title. And this is from Linda. Someone accidentally gave my daughter, Anna, a fentanyl pill, and now she's dying. I am trying to get an ambulance to the house we are at. We had just come from a hotel in the dream.
So this is the first little part of a kind of a longish dream. But again, the dreamer is cutting the ties with mom. That's important to know because then we want to see stuff with mom coming up. And so here straight away, we see my feminine side was killed due to my reception at birth. And remember, in a dream, killed is an exaggeration. So when you know you're cutting the ties with mom, when you're working on issues with mom, whatever the therapy is, whatever way you're doing it, then seeing it coming up in your dream is perfect. That's what you want. And then trying to get an ambulance to the house says that the dreamer is a healer, which is cool.
Wow. Yeah, it is. Okay, what about the fentanyl pill? What the heck?
Fentanyl is a suppressant, an analgesic. So it'll suppress how you feel. And that also fits in with what's going on. Another one that I came across recently, cocaine was in a dream. I don't know if they were taking it or not. And I was like, I don't know what cocaine does, but it's important in this dream. And she tells, I now remember who it was. She goes, oh yeah, it gives you confidence for anything. And so that's what that would mean in a dream. It's to give you confidence. It's not saying take cocaine. And same with the fentanyl. It's whatever the traits of that drug are, is typically what it's going to be about. But usually drugs and dreams are about suppressing your nature. And so here it is what it is about.
Interesting. Okay, next paragraph. Earlier in the dream, on the street.
Do you love that? Do you love that it's like a movie. She starts in on the main scene and then she backtracks and goes earlier in the dream.
Which is really strange, but interesting. Okay, earlier in the dream, on the street on the way home from the hotel, we see a woman driving her own hospital bed in downtown traffic. I bet that was interesting to see. I know without knowing how I know that she is going to a wedding. The woman loops in the road to pick up a woman in a purple dress with a bright yellow flower corsage. Now they are driving together. The hospital patient driver lying down on the left of the bed and the purple dress lady sitting up primly on the bed with her ankles crossed on the right.
All right, Sandy,
this.
Calm down now. Calm down. So the dreamer just had surgery. So that's why she's going to be pulling in symbols of hospital beds and so on. But it still fits. The symbol is being used to show her that she is healing. Not from the surgery that she had. We can take that as a given. But about other things, about what we now know is going to happen later in the dream. So a woman driving in traffic is about your feminine side needs to drive when it comes to your spiritual leadership and channeling career. And we know it's spiritual leadership because the bed is outside the bedroom. And why do we know? We know it's spiritual leadership too because of the purple
Purple dress.
Yeah.
Purple dress.
So, and channeling symbols come up later. She has channeling as a gift. So feminine side is what she needs to work on, which is what she's working on, which is great. And we know then because we see the flower corsage, that she didn't get unconditional love from mom at the start of life. Again, we know it's the start of life because of the hotel. It's about her reception when she was born, how she was received by mom. And she didn't feel that she got unconditional love at that time.
But what's going on with going to a wedding? I love this.
That's the channeling. I knew I had it in there for a reason. Well done, Sandy. But we do see it later on. It pops up lots of times later on.
And then I have to point out this bright yellow color of the flower. So what's going on with the bright yellow?
So yellow is, as a color, really says you're intellectual. It's the color of the solar plexus chakra. But the shades are important. If it's a dark yellow, it's about irrational fears. If it's kind of a mid yellow, it just says that you're very rational. You think your way through life. You analyze situations. And if it's a bright yellow, it can say that you have an enlightened intellect or that you get inspirational thoughts dropped in your mind. So there's too much to say. All that we can say is, though, we know she has to be intellectual because if you have an issue with mom, we tend to retreat into our heads, and that's our safe place up in our head. But the flower part says love, that she didn't get the love she needed from mom. And that's really where the focus needs to be.
And then, of course, I have to ask one more question. So we have our hospital patient, the one that's driving. She's on the left side of the bed. And then the lady in the purple dress sitting primly on the bed with her ankles crossed is on the right. So is there anything about one being on the left and one being on the right that we need to point out?
Well, there is. It's always significant in a dream, but really look at the contrast. First, it's mad to be driving a bed, and then to be lying down driving the bed. So it's kind of like, my feminine side is not at its peak. But we see the purple dress lady showing this is the way you need to be. You need to be sitting up, standing up even, tall and straight, and so on. So it's really saying work on the feminine side because there's aspects that are still not fully empowered.
All righty, let's move on. They loop again and go past us. And up ahead in the traffic, I see her hit someone's car in front of her with the hospital bed. I think to myself, those beds could take a lot of abuse.
Yeah, I don't like this part of the dream. You're everything in the dream. So you're saying, when you say these beds can take a lot of abuse, it's I took a lot of abuse. And note that the bed, even though I'm saying it's about a spiritual side, it's also about the reproductive system. And the dreamer, of course, just had her second operation on her reproductive system in reality. So, but it's not enough to say that this was sexual abuse. And in fact, I didn't get the feeling for that from this dream. It was more a feeling of being criticized as a woman or a girl, because that can show up this way too. Once gender is at the very core of your criticism. We will come back to it.
Wow. I'm back at the house. I'm supposed to be starting a lesson, teaching someone, but we haven't been home in a while because we were at the hotel. And there are all these dishes in the sink that have to be done first. The sink is all these white cups in it.
All right. So the white dirty cups, I did check whether that they were dirty, and they were. So I need a vessel that can hold water. And I have this in my symbol dictionary that you can get on the website for free, dream-analysis.com, and just download the dictionary. And so a vessel that carries water that is dirty is basically saying I'm an unclean vessel. It comes from religious practices in the past, and some still current in the States anyway. They're still current, where if you've had a child or anything like that, you're considered unclean and you can't receive communion until you're churched or receive the sacraments at a side chapel and so on. Anyway, doesn't matter the reason for the symbol meaning what it means. It just is what it means. And so coupled with the last part of the dream that we just talked about, the bed taking the abuse, I asked her, what do you think about femininity? Because I always find it's easier to lean into something, lean halfway, and then let the dreamer meet you the other half. And she just flat out said, I hate being a woman. I was like, oh, okay, we nail on the head right there. And I didn't really go into it, but the point with her at the time, realized that she's already had 2 operations on her reproductive system, on the part of her that defines her gender, the part of her that makes her a woman. And so our dreams are going to try to get us to fix our attitudes and heal the past and heal anything that causes all of those issues, because it's super, super, super important. There's no point hating being a woman if you are a woman. You have to do something to make sure that you don't send that negative vibe that you have at a part of yourself that's going to take you out, which is what a lot of us do. We don't, there is always a link to health issues. Health issues are not random, and dreams showed the link. This is one of those cases where the dream is screaming the link.
Wow. Wow. Even though she's written this kind of as a funny scene that you would see in a movie and laugh at, this is really painful to actually hate your gender. And of course, the unclean vessel, that just makes my skin crawl hearing that and thinking about the way, the church that she treat women. And yeah,
Used
that
to.
could still be a little button to push on me. Okay, I'm going to move on.
Good.
Outside, I hear some helpful old woman has given my Anna fentanyl. The old woman's understanding was that she was giving Anna something sweet, but it was fentanyl. Trying to be helpful, she has inadvertently killed my daughter.
So the old woman in the dream is mom. The old man is dad. So this old woman, my mom, inadvertently killed my feminine side. Like, she was trying to be nice, trying to be sweet, thinking she was doing the right thing. But this is really what happened. And so if we take the daughter to represent my feminine side, and then we know what her attitude towards femininity is like, this is all on mom. This is why this dreamer is working on mom. And we expect this to improve enormously by the time she finishes the work.
Wow, I hope so, because this is sad. Alrighty, next paragraph. We have minutes to get Anna help. At first, Anna seems fine. Then she rapidly starts deteriorating. I run asking for the address of the house we're at. I can't understand what anyone is saying. I keep yelling, asking them to repeat the name of the street we're on. They're all lying on the lawn across the street from our house with Anna there.
So I'll come back to her statement of not understanding what people are saying. And we're kind of just really going to skip over this because it leads into something happening. But across the street from the house is the street we had before, and we had the bed driving on the street, so we know it's about career. And the lawn and all of that is to do with the heart. So needing to work on the feminine side, it's what she's already doing.
All righty. I finally understand the words for the street they were giving me. Quetzalcoatl, woo, or something that sounds a lot like that. I run to the house, repeating the address over and over so I don't forget it, and so I can call the ambulance and tell them 24 Quetzalcoatl Lane. What a word!
Just
how did you come up with that?
Just plow right through it. It's like the peak or highest spiritual leader in, I think, is it the Aztec culture? I'm not sure.
Okay.
At least that's what she told me. I thought it was Mayan, but what do I know? Really important character. So it says that she's a spiritual leader. We already know that, but a spiritual leader to the max. You remember we watched a series with Graham Hancock recently, Sandy, and you had all these enlightened beings that came to different parts of the world and basically taught civilization. This character is one of those beings. So anyway, it really emphasizes your spiritual leadership is next level. And then I asked her what age is Anna, and she said, even though we could probably have asked that at any point in the dream, and she said, she's the age I was when I left home. She didn't tell me the age, but that was her answer. So that's why Anna is really important. And what we often see when working at therapy is you have issues in life that you pick up from your parents, and the dreams will often show that age that you picked it up. But then the next stage they tend to show is when it really crystallized. Like this is when I knew I had a problem. Like, so I've had it all this time. I picked it up at this age, but my God, it was really clear to me now. And of course, when you leave home, a lot of things are going to become clear to you very quickly. But the 24 then is also, I limit my channeling ability by panicking. 2 is
How
about
do you
channeling.
get that?
4 is limitation. And we see the panic in the dream.
Oh, that's right, because she's running all over trying to repeat the address so she doesn't forget it. Okay. Alrighty, next paragraph. When I get inside the house, I'm going up the stairwell. It has a bend in it, and I'm part way up, and I'm trying to dial 911. It won't dial. It's not working. I'm starting to panic.
All right. So the phone is another symbol for channeling. Phone not working is there's a problem with my channeling. And then we have the second person who's accidentally being killed. I mean, what hilarious. All the 2s for channels because she's a channel. And then going up and down. So going up the stairs, trying to dial with 911. 911 would be in a dream, would be the connection to your guides. Police in dreams are guides. And so going up, raising your vibration, trying to make that connection, it not working, and then coming back down. It's all about channeling. And we saw that at the start with the wedding too. So it's like work on your feminine side. It's going to help you bring your gifts in, and it's going to help you use them in your career because we see the street mentioned so many times in the dream.
Traffic in the road.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, moving on. I go back outside and I see someone has called an ambulance for the second accidentally poisoned person there. Good grief, I don't want to be around this person. The ambulance is to the right as I come out of the house. The people on the lawn with Anna are to the left and across the street.
All right, so I gave that away. Sorry, the second person is there. I already said it because I'm psychic. Nothing to do with the fact that I read ahead.
I love it. Okay, I run to the left towards the lawn to cross the street where Anna is with the other group of people. Anna is now pale. She's gone sweaty. Her whole body is sweaty. She's unable to stand up. She's on her knees. I run to her and try to pick her up, but I can't lift her. She's too slippery from all the sweat for me to be able to hang on to her. So instead, I start screaming towards the other ambulance for help. They don't come over or even respond to my cries. I think this is insane. I get up and just barely pick Anna off the ground and shuffle with her across the street to get closer to the ambulance. Oh my goodness, Michael. Woo!
Are you feeling the stress of this movie?
I am. It's like, whoa, it's a nail biter.
So I said I'd come back to not understanding what the people were saying. So we're trying to find out, when did I pick up these issues? We know it's at the start of life because of the hotel, but how close to the start of life? And then we have that Anna couldn't stand. So we know it's before she could stand. And she's on her knees. So we know it's going to be around the time when Anna could crawl, or when the dreamer could crawl. So we know it's right way back when she was an infant. And that's what she's working on. And the difficulty, though, of course, helping her means that she's not yet done with the healing. But clearly, she can see the issue. So it's a really good dream in this context, that she can see what's going on, and she's now screaming for help. We're aware of a lot of this when you're helping somebody. Some people are not aware that they have an issue, and some people are aware of the symptoms, and then some people are aware of the solutions. And our job is really to bring a person across that journey from being, say, symptom aware to solution aware, and then knowing what they can do to heal it. So it's really good to see this in the dream, to see the awareness, because we know then that the healing is going to work.
All right, I've got too many questions, though. What about the sweaty and slippery and all of that?
Well, it's just the difficulty. She has difficulty with dealing with this issue. Like, it's everything that could go wrong is going wrong. The phone isn't working. I can't lift her up. She can't walk. She can't stand. So she can't get her way to the ambulance. And then the ambulance people aren't listening to me. I'm not understanding people. Like, it's at a stage in therapy where it's like, this is all nuts. This is crazy. It is all bad. What am I going to do? But we have to hit this point. And we will see it in different ways in dreams. Often we will see a battle. You'll see people bloodied and bandaged and all sorts of things, missing limbs, lots of gore. This dream isn't as bad as all that, but it's a good thing to see in a dream. We need to kind of see it in the arc of a healing therapy.
Okay, and then what about the second person poison? What the heck?
So the second person, I said it out of context, is about channeling. And we're always going to see twos show up in dreams for channels because it's all about dialogue and communication with the other side. And two really symbolizes that dialogue and communication.
Wow, that's great. Okay, we are at the last paragraph. Let's see what happens in the end. Is she gonna make it? All right. When I get to the ambulance, all I see are all these old and middle-aged women lined up in two lines facing the back of the ambulance. I say to them, "Who among you are the paramedics?" And three relaxed, smiling women stepped out of the line towards me. They were not dressed in uniforms, just plain clothes. They just stand there smiling and do not offer to help. And I don't believe they're the ones who can even help. Anna is almost dead in my arms.
All right. So not getting help, that's pretty bad. But all this seems bad in the dream, like I said, but it's good. It's all about awareness. Realize that this has been true since you were an infant. The dream is showing you the issues and letting you feel into it because the feelings are the connection of how much of this is still going on and exists in your life today. The panic, the old ladies being so stupid, they hurt instead of helping. They're useless. The panic again at every turn. And then like finally finishing with, I don't believe mom can help me. Now that's not a conclusion that you reached today. This is a conclusion you reached in the past and then buried it. And you buried it by putting a protective wall up around your heart. I'm going to keep people at a distance, all that stuff. And now as part of taking that wall down, by working on the issues, you're faced with why you put it up in the first place. And again, that's what I said earlier. We need to see this showing up in a dream because then we know it's working. So you said, let's see how it ends. It looks bad, but it's fantastic. This is really a good dream. If you weren't in therapy, I would be saying the opposite. It's a terrible dream. But for our dreamer, it's great.
Yeah, it's yes, I can see how it can be great because it really shows all of the symptoms that she may be aware that she has, but now she understands where they came from. Because usually when stuff happens when you're born, do you even remember it? You just know that you've always been this way.
And conscious when you're an adult, you don't remember it, but you lived it and you have all the scars to show it. And these are the scars.
Wow. That was good. All righty. Are you ready to move on to our next stream? All righty. So we have one last stream and it's titled Elevator by Sarah. Visiting my mom with my older brother and younger sister. We are in a 2-story building. I want to take the elevator to the second floor, but I pressed 1 instead of 2. I noticed that and changed it to 2, but the elevator does not stop. It goes to the 9th floor at the top of the building. I then notice buttons for 3 to 9 on the left of the elevator. The doors do not open and take me back to floor 1. There is a construction work going on, and they tell me you have to be an employee to go to the top floor.
All right. I like this dream because it's kind of punchy. She's trying to learn to channel. She's in our course just for doing that right now. And that's what the elevator is about raising your vibration. And going to the second floor is specifically about channeling. It requires masculine and feminine energy working in harmony. That's why she has a brother and sister in the dream, even though she's an only child. So like to raise her vibration, that's got to be with her. But she presses 1 instead. And this took a little bit of time for me to figure it out. She presses 1, then it doesn't go, it goes to the top, but doesn't open. So the top is about our spiritual side. That's really good, but it doesn't open. So she's not really getting there. Something's blocking her. And she ends up going back down to 1. And so 1 is about a number of things in dreams. It's about individuality. It's about it can be about selfishness. It can be about creativity, independence. It's a masculine number. But in her case, it stands for the fact that she wants to do everything herself. Everything must be done my way. And that's what's holding her back. So she will start a course, take the lesson, and then change it and go, I'm going to improve it. And so my advice to her was take the lessons the way you're instructed, practice the way you're instructed, get good at it, then modify when you're already an expert. Don't modify before you get to that point. And you were there in that room, Sandy. She was quite shocked that the dream was calling out that she does things her way.
Yes, she was. It was very interesting.
And she admitted it. It wasn't a problem. She's like, how on earth did you know that? I do that with everything.
Yep. That was really cool.
All right, Sandy.
I love it when they admit it, when you point something out and they willingly admit, yes, you're right on that one. Yes, I have that flaw.
Sometimes I'm funny. Sometimes I ask a question. I go, I already know. You may as well be honest with the answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, that's it for our show for this week, Michael. This was great. Very interesting. I'm enjoying the long dreams because we get to see more in-depth stuff and your skills come out with all the weird stuff coming in on those dreams. So thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Have a great week. And Sandy, I'm glad you don't know the address for these people because I think you'd be having a word with their parents.
Yes, I would. Oh my.
Bye.